Doesn't that look delicious? I'm so happy to see you today in Frugal Willie Mae's kitchen. Today I want to share with you a very tasty chicken basil tomato recipe. I'm going to use my cast iron skillet with a lid. The first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to chop the chicken up in chunks, and I'm going to fry that in 2 tablespoons of olive oil. You can use a vegetable oil if you choose to do that, but I have a light olive oil that I like to use, and I'm going to just chunk these up, get them in the pan to brown. I just want to lightly brown them. Then I'll get to chopping up the vegetables that I'm going to put in the skillet. I turn the eye of the stove on high to get the skillet hot. Have 2 tablespoons of olive oil in there, and I just want to lightly brown these on all sides. I really don't want to cook it thoroughly because I'm going to cook the vegetables next, and then I will add the chicken in as soon as the vegetables have gotten browned. I turn the stove off because I want the pan to cool down a little bit, and it will cool down while I'm slicing the vegetables. I'm going to put all of the chopped up vegetables in this bowl. Then I'm going to add the spices. And I'm going to toss the spices and the vegetables all together. I also have some al dente penne pasta that I want to put in there, and that's a 1/2 cup. I have a 1/2 cup of unsalted diced tomatoes that I want to add in. It's got the juice and the diced tomatoes. Now I'm going to put in a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of black pepper, a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. This is homemade Italian seasoning. And a teaspoon of dried parsley that I personally dried. I may put a little bit more parsley. I won't have it all exact, but I like the flavor to be there. Mix it up in this little bowl. And I'm going to toss it all together with the vegetables. The pan is hot, so I'm just going to scoop this into the pan. Now I have the stove set on medium, and I'm going to add the chicken onto the top. Ooh, it looks good and it's smelling good, but the best is yet to come. And what I'm going to do is just take off some whole leaves, just pinch them off, And I want to put out several of these leaves because that gives this dish a lot of flavor. And you always take the basil off of the very top when you're going to be cooking with the leaves. Yeah, and it's pretty strong, and boy, does this smell good. I'm going to do just 2, 4, 6, 8 leaves. I've got my stove set on medium. I'm going to put this on the top, and I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. I'm going to turn it down to about 3 on my stove. I'm going to let it just simmer and cook, and all those juices and spices meld together. It just makes my mouth water. And then I'll come back whenever it's cooked. I'm going to set the timer for about 15 minutes. Okay, it's been 15 minutes. I'm going to check this. It looks very good. Smells very good. Doesn't that look delicious? Look at that plate. That is steaming hot. So let me taste of it and see just how the flavors come together. I love all the vegetables in there. Whoops, it's very hot. Oh, the flavors are perfect. The chicken is well done. It's very good. There's no pink showing at all. This turned out very, very well. If it doesn't have enough salt for you, you can always add a little more salt. I'm very pleased with how this recipe turned out. I want to show especially the younger people or people that are kind of afraid of cooking that you can put ingredients in as you go along. Sometimes it may be really good, like this one turned out really good. Sometimes it might not be quite as good, might not be quite as tasty as this is, but the beauty part is that you can always add a little bit more of the spices. And what I've done in the past, I've actually made a dish and decided, oh, I need to have more vegetables of this vegetable or that vegetable, and I've actually added that in. I cook it in another pan, and then I just add it into the completed dish, and it really tastes good. But I'm very pleased with this, and I think you will too, be very happy with it once you try it. It's not a very hard recipe at all. It does have several ingredients, but they chop up pretty quick, especially if you have a good sharp knife. But I hope you try that. And if you do enjoy it, please come back and we'll do another cooking video in the near future. I am planning some outside cooking videos when the conditions are right and not a lot of wind, and make sure that we do have the right amount of rain before I get out there and make a fire. I hope you have a good rest of the day, and if you do enjoy videos like this, please give me a comment and let me know. And if I don't do a video that you would like to do, or you want to see a recipe that I haven't shown before, I will be glad to do that. Just let me know in the comments. And I hope you have a most wonderful rest of the day. Be safe and be happy.